In the deepest reaches of the Pacific Ocean, the experimental submarine Nautilus embarked on its maiden voyage. The mission to explore uncharted territories and discover new marine life. Captain Harold Matthews, an experienced submariner, led the crew of 6 on this daring expedition. The submarine descended deeper and deeper, leaving behind the sunlight and plunging into the abyssal darkness. As Nautilus reached depths no human had ever ventured, an eerie silence enveloped the vessel. The only sounds were the hum of the engines and the occasional creak of the hull under immense pressure. The crew's excitement was palpable, yet tinged with an undercurrent of fear. Hours passed, and the submarine's lights illuminated strange, bioluminescent creatures darting in the water. These were unlike anything the crew had seen before, their glowing bodies pulsing with an otherworldly light. Dr. Elaine Carter, the marine biologist on board, eagerly documented these discoveries. Suddenly, a deep, resonant thud reverberated through the submarine. The crew exchanged nervous glances as the lights flickered momentarily. "What was that?" whispered Lieutenant Sarah Blake, her voice trembling. Captain Matthews checked the instruments. "Something large just bumped into us. Maintain course. Keep an eye on the sonar." The sonar operator, Mark Davis, focused intently on his screen. "Captain, there's something big out there. It's circling us." The crew gathered around the screen, watching as a massive, indistinct shape moved through the water. It was larger than the submarine, its movements deliberate and predatory. Without warning, the submarine lurched violently as the creature rammed into it again. The lights flickered once more before plunging the vessel into darkness. Panic set in as the emergency lights cast an ominous red glow over the control room. "Engage emergency power," shouted Captain Matthews. The backup systems hummed to life, but the situation remained dire. The creature's presence was palpable, a lurking menace in the dark water. Suddenly, the submarine's hull groaned under another powerful impact. A high-pitched squeal of metal tearing echoed through the vessel. Followed by a rush of water. "Hull breach in Section C," cried Engineer Tom Willis. "We're taking on water. Seal it off, now," Captain Matthews ordered. The crew scrambled to close the bulkheads, their faces pale with fear. The submarine listed to one side as it continued its descent into the black abyss. As the crew fought to stabilize the vessel, the creature's form became clearer. It was an enormous, nightmarish leviathan, covered in scales that shimmered with an unnatural glow. Its eyes, large and malevolent, stared into the submarine, exuding a malevolent intelligence. The creature struck again, this time with a force that sent the crew sprawling. The submarine's structure groaned in protest, and another section began to flood. Desperation set in as they realized they were trapped, deep below the ocean's surface, with no hope of rescue. Dr. Carter's voice trembled as she spoke. "We have to find a way to communicate with it. Maybe it's trying to tell us something." "Are you insane?" shouted Lieutenant Blake. "That thing is trying to kill us." But Dr. Carter was already at the comms, attempting to broadcast sounds in the hope of deterring the creature. The submarine shook again, and this time the lights went out completely. In the pitch-black darkness, the crew could hear the creature's guttural, echoing growls reverberating through the hull. Hours passed in darkness and terror. The air grew thick and stifling as the oxygen levels dropped. The creature continued its assault, relentless and unyielding. Hope faded as the crew's strength waned. In a final act of desperation, Captain Matthews decided to risk ascending to the surface. The submarine groaned as it began to rise, the engines straining against the pressure. But the creature was not done. It rammed the vessel one last time, and with a deafening roar, the hull gave way. Water flooded in, and the crew was engulfed in chaos. The last thing Captain Matthews saw before the water took him was the creature's glowing eyes, filled with a cold, alien intelligence. The Nautilus was never found. Only fragments of the submarine were recovered, scattered across the ocean floor. The official report cited a catastrophic failure, but whispers of a monstrous sea creature persisted, haunting the deepest parts of the ocean with tales of the doomed expedition.